Hello and welcome to another Drop Frames episode. It's the first week of July. Wait, no, last week was the first episode of July. It is still the first week though, right? Nope, this would be the second. You know, sometimes you just don't nail the intro. Hey, we haven't done this joke in a while. What episode are we on?
Oh, 69?
Nice. Yeah.
What'd you guys do for the 4th? Anything fun?
I streamed on Twatch.television.
Yeah, I hung out with. I'm now in the fuck fireworks camp. That's what we can talk about. I think fireworks are.
Dogs will do that to you.
Yeah, dogs. I think is the main. There's two camps of people in terms of the fuck fireworks. There's dog havers and dog not havers. I'm in camp dog haver now, and thus I hate fireworks. They're pretty. Yeah. We also live in an area where it was a war zone essentially outside for about 6 hours. And I say that with all respect for the actual war zones before you get on Twitter. But like it was real crazy. It was so bad that when we opened our door to let the dog out, because he had to go to the restroom, but he didn't want to because it was so loud, that smoke filled the house and that part of the house. Because they were setting off fireworks for like 6 hours straight. They even had those like Gatling gun fireworks. I don't know if you guys have seen those where it's just, I don't know, like 30 or 40 different fireworks.
Oh yeah.
I don't know much about fireworks, but they just like spin them off in constant rotation. It was pretty bad. So yeah, I'm in the fuck firework camp now. And I'll sit here for a while. So,
well, thankfully, I don't know if it's just the breed or whatever, or the fact that we got them, like they're not even 4 months old yet.
Yeah.
But we made a point to sit outside with the two puppies, and like it was the same thing. Like we live in a fucking like residential, like suburban area of Denver.
Yeah.
And it was just everywhere, like 365 degrees of just pow, 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 like big loud noises. So we sat out there with them, made sure to like, oh, it's okay, nothing to worry about. And then like because it was going on for like 4 days leading up to it. Like just ramping up.
We get like a month. We live very close to a fireworks store. Like I can see it outside of my door, essentially.
Okay.
That's open 24 hours. So it's a little spooky for sure. It's been going on for a while.
But they got used to it. So they were actually surprisingly good about it. And then the pug, who is the old 12-year-old, she doesn't give a shit about anything. So
that's good.
You could like fire a gun right by her head. If it's not food, she's not about it. She doesn't care.
I didn't realize until I started talking about it on Twitter that for vets, that it's one of the busiest days year round is the day prior to July 4th, because everyone goes in and gets their dog some sort of like anti-anxiety medicine. I forget the actual medicine name, but it's like people that don't actually go to the vet just go to the vet and be like, hey, my dog hates fireworks. Do you have any of whatever this drug is called? And then they just hand it over. And then also a lot of people started giving dogs CBD oil with all the recent CBD craze. So yeah.
We have some of that too.
Yeah. Trazodone, I think, is the medical name of whatever the drug is. So.
Oh yeah. Did you try the Thunderstruck or whatever?
No, it was the type of deal where we couldn't get it fast enough. And by the time it would have been here, it would have been like the end of this week. So we just opted not to even bother. And maybe by next year we'll have ordered it then. I don't know. We could have ordered it, I guess, and been good for next year, but we just didn't. So anyways, fireworks suck. That's where I'm at. Is that the official Drop Frame stance, or is that my stance? I don't know. Where do we stand on fireworks as an entity?
Well, I'm surprised they don't like. I know in Montana, when I lived in Billings, you weren't allowed to light off fireworks inside of the city limits. You'd have to find, because that's why we went out to a place called the South Hills where they do like motocross and hill climbs and stuff. Everyone will go out there.
Yeah.
And you can light them off out there because it's outside of city limits. But people don't give a fuck.
No, people don't give a
they
fuck
just,
because it's so hard to like enforce that these days.
I guess, yeah.
I mean, did you see LA? Like down there was that time lapse that came out the past couple
yeah.
of days of all the fireworks that went off in LA, like proper downtown LA. And it was just ridiculous looking. There's so many people that you couldn't arrest an entire city, right? Like it's pretty difficult. So yeah. How do like all the farm animals handle it, Having never been around horses and stuff during fireworks, how does that go?
It's funny. You'd think that it would be pretty bad, but the thing is that especially out where I live, there's a lot of people with guns.
Oh.
So they're actually kind of used to big pows and booms every so often, and it's not too bad. It does get a little much if like a whole bunch go out at once, and you'll start hearing like the pounding of hoofs as they kind of run around out in the fields and stuff. Booker's pretty okay with it because again, kind of the gun thing, but yeah, it's generally okay.
Gotcha. Well, we can jump into some gaming news as we just had some there you go. Had some sort of news break. Ninja tweeted about it. I think he's currently live right now, about 30 minutes ago.
Yep.
On his YouTube channel.
134,000 viewers.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, he's got 24 million subs, so it seems like the right place to go for viewership.
About 100% more than on Mixer.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Slasher was out there saying that.
Check the math on that, and
it's a lot
you're
more.
Right.
Yeah,
checks out.
Slasher is out there saying that Ninja is currently in negotiations with streaming platforms and has no exclusive deal signed, including YouTube. Today's YouTube live stream was Ninja all on his own. Maybe he'll stream on Twitch too. I don't think he's streaming on Twitch as well.
I would doubt it.
Yeah, I would.
I think him leaving Mixer and then the first thing he does is kind of like make a show of going to YouTube. I think that's all things considered, probably a smart move on his part. Yeah. And courting YouTube at this point is probably the right thing to do. Yeah.
I agree.
More power to him.
Indeed. So that's where he's at. And it's now been about 14 years since Doc's been banned, and we know nothing still. So we'll bring you more news on that next week, when we still know nothing, most likely, and following weeks after that.
I feel like that's going to be the new, like, here's Ollie with the weather. It's going to rain. Like, where's Doc at? We don't know. All right. Thanks, Ollie.
It's every day that passes, it's even crazier that we still know nothing.
And also less of a chance that we'll ever find out.
100%. 100%. Yeah. It's just,
yep.
Dan nailed it last week when we were talking about the Doc situation for the first time on the show. Like, how does E3 have major leaks around like $1 billion companies, but we still don't know why Doc's been banned yet? You know, I couldn't have put it any better way. It's ridiculous, unless they're leaking it themselves. But yeah, It's a weird thing.
You don't think it's like a giant, like, is there any part of you that thinks it's like a giant publicity stunt?
No, it's like it's career. Like, he's been offline for long enough that it's starting to damage career. Like,
we talked about it a little bit last time. The big important thing to think about, Zeke, is that if it was a publicity stunt, he did it right in the middle of a huge, very necessary public fiasco on sexual harassment of real people coming out with real impactful stories. Like, to put a publicity stunt in the middle of that would be one of the worst publicity stunts in the history of publicity stunts. That would be one of the most like callous, uncaring, like manipulative. Like, that would just be obscenely uncool.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It's like Dr. Disrespect's character is all about disrespect, but that's like a different.
I was just gonna say, like, you just kind of described him like as a thing.
Yeah. But even for him, dude, I feel like there's some things that are just kind of out of bounds, and I feel like that's one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that would be way too far off being on brand, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's weird.
And also, like JP said, at this point, like, if he was, like, there was a huge amount of hype concerning that. Every single day that goes by, people are like, it comes up less and less and less and less and less. Like especially this much later, for there to be like nothing else, definitely makes it feel a lot more like something legal happened,
Yeah.
like some kind of big legal issue, and that nobody can talk about it, and everyone's taking that very seriously. And yeah,
Maybe he bought Twitch,
That's it.
and they're still like negotiating the contracts.
100%. That's how it goes. Amazon bought him for nearly $1 billion, just shy of $1 billion. In 2020, they sell for his entire. Wait, I guess he actually didn't get. For some reason, I looped him in with Shrouded Ninja. I guess he just has like the Twitch money for the contract he signed. So, yeah.
no,
Anyways,
dude, the whole situation is wild, man. It's just wild. It's
It's a weird thing.
crazy.
Ubisoft, Microsoft were out there announcing that they've got some press stuff coming up. Before we get to that, what was going on? You watched the Nacon conference?
Yes, the Nacon conference.
Okay, what does Nacon make?
Okay, Nacon is a. I know. I thought the same thing.
I didn't know.
Nacon is a hybrid. They're a hybrid publisher peripheral company that is primarily in EU and non-US countries.
Okay.
They are known for making pretty decent peripherals. In fact, when I brought them up in chat, there were more than a few people that said that they like really enjoyed their Nacon products. They just recently signed with Microsoft, and they also have PlayStation controllers and stuff. So pretty cool.
Nice.
Now, the thing is, and I actually, funny enough, they contacted me afterwards and were like, thank you for the feedback. We're taking this to heart. But one thing that was sorely lacking from the Nacon conference was gameplay. They showed almost no gameplay. And in lieu, they gave like interviews with members of the team. Now, that would have been cool if they would have also shown gameplay. But a lot of times what they would do is they would show like a cinematic trailer for anywhere between like 30 seconds and a couple minutes. And then they'd have like a 5+ minute interview with a member of the team. And then that would be it.
Yeah.
The other downside is that I really wish there was gameplay, because they talked about some really badass, cool titles. The people that made, what was that game by Big Bad Wolf? The Council have a badass looking game coming out based on Vampire the Masquerade. It's called Swan Song.
Oh.
And you play like 3 different vampires, and you get to skill them out. And it's all about like the Camarilla, and like it looks awesome. And the guy that did the interview even put on a great interview about it, but they didn't show any gameplay or anything. That looks great. The guys that made Greedfall are coming out with a reimagining of like, what is it, 17th century France, where basically like King Louis has a mechanized army of automatons, and you play this like this lady robot with all sorts of tools, like verticality levels, all sorts of integrated weaponry and stuff. Like, it sounds really cool. Again, no gameplay. They did show a slightly better than Valhalla reveal gameplay trailer of a game coming out called Werewolf, where they did actually show gameplay in it, but it was not a long trailer. But that game is looking cool, and it's shaping up nicely as well. So they had some good games there, no question. But again, just sorely lacking on the gameplay.
Gotcha. And then what was the deal? The thing that I saw come out of it was the Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown or whatever, but they didn't show a gameplay as well for that. Okay.
Yeah, there was very, very little gameplay, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to seeing more on many of the things they talked about there.
Yeah.
Cool. Kind of cool.
How long was it? Was it like 30 minutes or an hour?
40 minutes, I want to say.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
As I mentioned earlier, we'll kind of go through them in terms of what's going to be there.
One second. Before we move on from that, is there a reason why, like, I'm just this year hearing about Nacon? Like,
no, they're not a US-based company. In fact, the entire thing was in French. They're not NA. Yeah, they're not an NA company. It sounds from this, the whole thing came off as kind of investory. And I will say that it sounds like they're starting to make more headroads into the NA market by some of the things they said, because I hadn't heard of them at all either, like at all. But it sounds like they're going to start maybe pushing this way a little bit more than they have in the past.
Cool. Speaking of France, Ubisoft is going to be out there on Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern. They're going to be showing.
We're watching that. Yep.
Yeah, we'll be watching that as a trio. I'll probably get a fourth. I haven't thought about that yet, but we'll probably have someone else joining us for that. I get a big Ubi fan. I'm not sure who that would be.
Might be some Rainbow Six stuff there, and might be interested.
Yeah, maybe so. They also had, unfortunately, or they put it out themselves, they had some Assassin's Creed Valhalla gameplay leak, which is pretty funny considering that they did an entire event where they showed no gameplay and then they had 30 minutes of it leak. And it looked like Assassin's Creed. I didn't watch it. I'm only going off of what people told me. I kind of want to get my first look at it on Sundays. I'm sure they're going to show it. It was also pretty bad resolution from what I was told, but it looked like Assassin's Creed, but a little bit darker. In terms of Assassin's Creed Odyssey, just to be clear, and because there's so many different variations of that. But they'll definitely be showing that on Sunday. They're also going to be talking about Watch Dogs Legion, I think is the name of that Watch Dogs game.
And giving away Watch Dogs 2 apparently for free.
Yeah. Now, do you have to like have your Uplay tied? How do you know how they're doing that? Do you know the process for that? Okay.
The only thing I know is it's apparently you like during the course of the thing you get it and you just own it forever. So that's kind of cool.
That's cool. Watch Dogs 2.
I don't know the mechanism of getting it though.
Gotcha. Yeah, that game was pretty good. They showed some stuff in their little trailer that they put out on Twitter that was Trials related. I'll just bring this up real quick. What else is there? Oh, there's, I guess that's Ghost Recon stuff here at the beginning. And it's all Ghost Recon stuff. Is this the wrong tweet that I got linked to or something? Oh, okay. Full reveal trailer for whatever that is. Wait, did this Ghost Recon game come out?
Wildlands?
Yeah, Wildlands is out, but didn't they have another one come out? Oh God, which is the one that was like they were hyping up with Stadia? Was that Breakpoint?
That was the one that had the Punisher in it, right?
Yes. Did that come out?
I think that's Breakpoint. No. Was it?
Chat's saying Breakpoint is the newest, and it came out and it flopped.
Oh.
Didn't know that.
Is that why we're like, wait, is that out?
Yeah, I didn't.
Oh, it's out?
I didn't know that at all.
Oh.
Was not aware
Oh,
that was
wow.
a game that released.
Probably not a good sign.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Wow, just a wall of it was bad.
Huh.
Jeez, man.
I guess that was last E3 when that was a big deal. Or when they showed that stuff. Yeah, so in their like Twitter thing, I actually pulled up the right video here. Bunch of Valhalla footage, bunch of Watch Dogs footage. I think there was some trial stuff earlier on in this, if I recall. There was also some stuff that looked like it was a racing game, so maybe more of the crew. I'm not entirely sure. I do wonder, in the long history of Ubisoft E3 shows, they would always do a musical performance for Just Dance. I don't know how they do that in like a COVID world. If they're just gonna like have one person dancing, or if they even announce more Just Dance, or how that's gonna go. So I'm kind of curious there. And then of course we have the Forever.
I think
Hopefuls.
they get the stadium like beach balls like that you put yourself in.
Oh,
like that's what they do.
The Zorbs. I think those are called
Yeah.
Zorbs. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
CGI.
I remember
dancers.
the Flaming Lips. He did it once. He had like and he went around in the crowd on the crowd's hands and stuff. I think they just dance inside of those. I think they could make some pretty cool dance moves, man.
I don't. Zorbs
I'd
are.
watch it.
Ever since I heard about that one Zorb that they didn't stop at the bottom of the hill, and it kept going until it went off the hill and the person died, I've always been terrified of those. I've just been.
It's like nightmare fuel, man.
I've always been. I think about it often. I'm just like how terrifying that must have been. So
My Lord.
I hope they don't use Zorbs, especially anywhere near like a, elevation. It's terrifying for sure. And then we have, like, as I was going to mention, the Ubisoft hopefuls, new Splinter Cell, new Rayman, something from Beyond Good and Evil, which is basically
Hopefully.
just DJ Wheat, who's kind of like leading that whole thing.
South Park.
Yeah. How is South Park
Oh.
in like the daily life of everyone? Are they still making new episodes?
Yeah. They had a new
Yeah, I think
season.
so. I think they're contractually obligated to.
Okay. Yeah. I haven't thought about South Park in a long time.
Good question. Ubisoft is Sunday at
3
3 p.m.
3 p.m. Eastern. Yeah.
Okay, are we doing Devolver at the same time the day before?
Is that I thought that was like noon. Anyway, yes, Devolver is
Saturday,
before.
July 11th at 3 p.m. ET.
Okay.
Yep.
And they said that's
Noon
going to be
Pacific.
30 minutes, right? Or did I see the wrong time completely for that?
Yeah, I am definitely gonna check it out. So if
Okay.
we want to do like a DF for it, that's cool too. Whatever we want to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can.
Cool.
Is it going to be like the? I guess they always mixed in like game announcements with their jokey E3.
They put
thing.
on a show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's generally more of an entertainment thing. I mean, there's also they say there's going to be gameplay and stuff, so that's good.
Okay.
but It's generally for the entertainment value. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. We could check it out. I know they've been teasing Shadow Warrior 3. Like an actual teaser trailer came out from that, so I'm sure that'll show up there on their actual conference on Saturday. And that's at 3 p.m. Eastern, 100%.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. We can watch that for sure.
Cool.
And
Oh, this is
then-
gonna be Shadow Warrior 3 gameplay.
yeah. That's what I just said when you were reading chat.
Okay, cool. I felt like when you said it that I wanted to, make sure like I wanted to echo it, the sentiment for chat, just in case anyone missed it in the back.
I got you.
Just wanna Yeah, just I'm your hype man, JP.
Yeah.
I'm trying to hype people up for it.
Good.
There's
Well,
Shadow Warrior 3 gameplay, by the way.
Here's the thing. You're I don't know if Zeke ever played Shadow Warrior, but you're definitely the fan out of the three of us. I never
Oh God, yeah.
I never
I
jumped
played
into
the
that.
original like
Yeah.
20 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I loved 2 when it came out. It was phenomenal. And yeah, I can't wait for 3. I'm
Yeah.
super excited.
Yeah.
There's gonna be gameplay
I
for it
bought-
at the Devolver thing.
Nice.
I bought 1 and 2 a while ago on like a summer sale or Devolver sale, like store-wide Devolver thing or whatever.
Yeah.
And I've been meaning to play it because it looks like it would be something that I would enjoy. I just haven't picked it up yet. And then you forget about these things like, I should play that. And then
Yeah. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
That's how it goes for sure. Yeah, we will watch that. And I think Shadow Warrior 3 might show up there. They've been teasing it. So I'm eager to see what they have there. Microsoft announced that their big Xbox Series X games event is going to be on the 23rd of this month, which is a Thursday. And it's also quite early. It's 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern on that. We'll be covering that. This is their showcase, showing games from the Xbox Game Studios, including Halo Infinite, which is kind of the big game that I think they're going to be pushing out there, and most likely be a very big launch title. There's also been news, according to this article on The Verge, that Microsoft recently created a Fable placeholder Twitter account. So maybe some more Fable stuff will be there. They also recently extended its Fable trademark to cover USB chargers, portable speakers, headphones, and more. So maybe we'll see more stuff from the Fable IP. What else is there? Hellblade 2 might possibly show up. Psychonauts 2, now that Microsoft owns Double Fine, will probably be there as well. And then who knows? I don't know. It's a weird
Obsidian
thing.
new IP.
Yeah. Well, I guess they have multiple new IPs, right? They have that Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Grounded
game.
has always been. Yeah. I was going to say Grounded is kind of like their, hey, welcome to Microsoft. Let's put something on Xbox Live project.
They've got
But
something
apparently
else.
they have something else in the works. Yeah.
Ah.
Something that's really like Obsidian-y. Like maybe Outer Worlds DLC or 2 or something. Like, have to see.
How long is it? I guess they could have DLC, right? Has it been too long for DLC for
Oh, yeah.
Outer Wilds?
Outer Worlds.
Outer Worlds? Fucking
No.
Outer
I don't think so. They could easily plug in some more stuff. The game itself does a pretty good job of kind of wrapping up the characters and story at the end, but
Yeah.
the universe could definitely keep going, like in many different directions if they wanted it to. So
Okay. All right.
I don't know. Maybe they've made an official announcement that I missed somewhere.
I don't know. Chat was saying something about Perfect Dark had some sort of thing that makes people believe it's going to be there. I don't necessarily care for a Perfect Dark, but I also don't know how you could put a Perfect Dark out there against Halo. I feel like that would be a clash of game archetypes that Microsoft probably doesn't want on a new console title, or a new console launch rather. But we'll see. That's on the 23rd at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern. which is a Thursday, which we'll probably cover in terms of all the leaks and everything on the 22nd, which is Wednesday, which is when our normal show happens. Trying to think if there was anything else news related that was kind of leaked or shown. Anything that you guys have seen over the past week in terms of gaming news?
You were talking about setting up a dummy account for Fable, right? Like,
yeah,
there was a couple of like Twitter accounts that were created when Mixer was being absorbed by Facebook. Oh, okay. But they weren't real. People were like all like the rumor mill was flying
around the dock
and
stuff,
there was but there was like oh god, Brime. There's like Brime, and there was like I don't know if it's news, but I thought it was hilarious how many like of these fake accounts like came up like I don't know, KFC Gaming or something like that, or like shit like that. There was a few of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, people would love to people who find themselves in the I hate Twitch narrative love to promote that type of stuff as any way to get back at Twitch. So yeah, there's a reason I think those things blew up. I think they've all been like, even wasn't Brime like found out to be fake or something. There's that one that's like,
it's not fake. It's just not a thing. Like
Okay.
it basically Brime is like a early 20s dude and another guy, and they were like, we're gonna make a streaming platform, and then it just kind of like took off and exploded. It got to the point where I even think they were like, please stop harassing us. Like it got like too big for its britches, kind of thing. But no, it's nothing serious or big. It's I think it's more of an idea, if anything.
Gotcha.
Oh, MySpace Gaming.
Yeah, I know. There's one called
the Spotify stuff. The Spotify thing was so weird because there was like
that's the one that everyone thought was believable, right?
Yeah, well, the thing is there was this big Spotify thing, and it was, everyone was like, no, there's no way that would work, and did Google buy it and all this stuff. But then it came out that like the link people were spreading around was actually under the domain. Like if you went to spotify.com/gaming or something, it would go to the link people were passing around. So it got everyone super confused. Like, wait, if this is fake, then why does this thing direct to there? And the only company that could do that is Spotify. But the only thing that we know for sure is that there have been zero public announcements about anything pertaining to it. So that's the only hard evidence that we know for sure.
There's also Vin, which is launching later this month. Vin is a new company. I'm reading from an article. Vin's a new company launching with 17 million in funding from some of the biggest names in gaming. That is hoping to harness the power of streaming media's online celebrities and funnel them into a channel that can command the kind of advertising revenues of the networks of old. So essentially MTV, I guess, is what they're going there.
And then there's Trovo. We talked about that briefly. Trovo is Tencent's new entry into the streaming field, and they're basically doing the reverse of what Mixer did, where Mixer took a huge pool of money and they paid a few big streamers to come stream on their service. Trovo is saying, hey, come stream on our service, and after you are successful, we will be doling out huge amounts of money to like the top people on the server. Speaking of which, I haven't been following that at all. Do we know how that's going?
I don't. I have not looked at that site since last week when we brought it up.
I wonder if that's actually working.
Are you looking at their
I tried to go to, I think I'm misspelling it. I don't remember what it's Trovo.live. Okay. Is that it? Yeah, this is it. So the top recommended channel is Ask Dave.
Nice.
With 52 people, but that's just recommended. It actually looks like there's a lot bigger channels. There's a guy with 1K on the front page, 500,
did
300.
you say ask or ass?
Dave? Ass. As in I have a butt. Ask Dave.
Yeah, Ask Dave.
I want to know like immediately.
Memorable.
Yeah, I want to know like why. Where'd you get that? It's like
it's Ask Dave.
It's Ask Dave,
like you have a spectacular posterior?
Are you trying to say that you have beef with Ask Dave, Zeke? Is that what you're trying to say?
I don't
trying to start a rivalry with Ask Dave right here.
I can't believe you would use this platform as a way to start a rivalry with Ask Dave. He's such a nice guy.
Really good dude, Zeke.
Guys with the name like Ask Dave growing up, they were the guys you go to when your regular weed dealer wasn't available. You'd be like, oh God, I have to go to Ask Dave.
Zeke is going down the gauntlet here.
Yeah. Dick Zeke.
I gotta go to Butt Munch Mike's house. Damn it.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Ask Dave. We're sorry about this.
Sorry
slander,
about
my
that,
man.
Ask
Best
Dave.
of luck
Good luck.
to you.
Yeah, we wish you
Yeah,
all the
seriously.
all the best of
Don't-
luck grabbing the 35 mil from
Yeah.
Trovo.
listen,
Sorry,
this is,
not Trove.
we're
Trovo.
helping get free publicity.
Yeah.
We don't even, like, we're speculating. We don't even know the guy.
I will say, dude, it is hilarious. Like the more I look at this site, like it is just a copy paste of Twitch.
It is.
Like
yes,
they even use this, they
100%.
use the same terms, they use the same layout function. Like it really is just, it's amazing how it's just Control C, Control V.
100%. I was reading a little bit more about Ven. The people behind it include Ariel Horn, a 4-time Emmy winning producer who brought the commercial storytelling from his network days working on Olympic broadcast for NBC to the esports phenomenons at Riot Games and Blizzard Entertainment, and Ben Kusin, a former global director of new media at Vivendi Games. So I guess they have some prolific people behind it. I don't know if that translates into a good MTV streaming platform channel thing. I guess we'll see how that goes. Okay. Sorry. To go on, it says we're a universal network. We will be distributed on Twitch and YouTube and on Pluto. The fuck is Pluto?
What is Pluto?
Like the planet?
Pluto? It's not a planet.
Sorry, it's not a planet anymore. Are they trying to make it one? What the hell is Pluto?
Proto planet.
Pluto TV. It's free TV. Pluto.tv. Apparently it's looks like a Netflixy kind of dealie.
Weird.
Maybe.
Okay. Hulu and Roku. So guess look for that later
Watch
this
now
month.
TV or on demand. I don't know. I've never heard of it either.
Yeah. Weird. It's a weird thing.
Hmm.
What happened to that Zeke, what was the name of that TBS show that you tried to, or you auditioned for? Is that
Super Punch?
Yeah, is that still a thing?
I haven't seen, because I follow all the guys that are involved with it, but I haven't seen much because I'm guessing they had to put it on hiatus because of COVID.
Oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of everything,
But-
yes, really.
No, they were like, I was seeing tweets and all kinds of like clips and all that kind of shit, but I'm guessing that's probably the case. Like they couldn't justify getting the crew in there and the on-screen personalities and shit.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the, I don't know,
Appeal.
the idea of the show. Yeah.
Yeah. It's rough for sure. I hadn't thought about it or seen it anywhere. Because for a while there, it was kind of front paged almost every single week. Hey Zeke, are you playing Deadly Premonition 2? Because it's out, I think, or at least reviews are out for it.
Okay, it's not out till the 10th.
Okay.
I have a sticky note.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
That's Deadly Premonition 2, July 10th. But if it's, hold on. Ah, shit, my Switch is in the other room. I already bought it. I have it like pre-downloaded or whatever.
Gotcha. It's not out yet.
But-
It's the review embargo lifted.
Okay.
Currently
And
sitting.
you
at,
know what? The reviews for a game like this, I'm gonna say, don't matter.
Some of them, the couple that I read were basically saying that like it tried to do what the first one did, but now it's just a bad game instead of it being a funny bad game. So I guess we'll have to
That's
see.
unfortunate.
Yeah. And that was only a handful of reviews. A couple say that it did work. And a couple say that it's actually quite good. So
People are saying the FPS is bad. Well, that's why I didn't play it on the Switch, and I dealt with the
Yeah.
crashes on Steam, is because of the FPS problem.
right.
Like I can work around, like even though it took some more time, I can find workarounds usually for games that crash. Thank you to my audience, my viewers who helped me with that.
Right.
But FPS droppage or like slow FPS is not something you can like. There's a fix for on a console, right?
Right.
So
The world leading review site IGN says Deadly Premonition 2 is a blessing in disguise. Isn't so bad that it's good. It's just average and technically rough. 5 out of 10. So
they didn't. I mean, the only thing they could make the game really bad is if they tried to make it appeal to a wider audience. The reason why Deadly Premonition had so much charm for me is because it was fucking weird. It was very Twin Peaks like.
Sure.
You had to be you have to suspend your disbelief. You also have to enjoy a lot of what the fuck moments, which I absolutely do. So I really hope they didn't try and like dull the weird, and that's what's wrong with it, because that's the only thing that I could see making me not like it.
Yeah. I mean, it was a weird thing to begin with, the fact that they made a second one as well. So I guess we'll see. We'll have your report back next week, because I'm sure you're going to be playing it.
Oh, yeah.
I guess the other bit of news is that Warner Brother Games and kind of that whole group is looking to be sold off with a bunch of different big names, Activision, Xbox. I forget some of the other names that are throwing their hat there in the ring trying to buy that stuff. So that includes like the Mordor stuff, or the Mordor dev teams, the Mortal Kombat NetherRealm Studios is looped into that. So quite a big sell wherever those go in terms of future publishers, or if they go out on their own. I kind of hope MS buys them, Microsoft buys them. I think that would be kind of an interesting thing, especially with like the Mordor style games. That would be kind of cool if they did some other stuff that was maybe their own IP instead of attached to like Lord of the Rings or whatever. Because they had some pretty cool, or yeah, I guess it's the studios, not the IP, right? But they had some pretty cool ideas with like that. I guess the Wanted system is what came out of that. They started that whole trend, and it kind of took over into a lot of other games. So they've definitely got some cool ideas. I'm curious to see where that goes. Another name that was in there is Activision. I hope that Activision does not buy them. They've I think eclipsed EA for me in terms of where I don't want studios to go. It's just I hope not. So we'll see where that goes. I'm sure that news will come out in the next couple of months. Yeah. Activision's rough. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully they end up at Xbox though. I'd like to see that stuff. Although I don't know for Mortal Kombat how that would work, because then that would mean that it would probably become a exclusive to Xbox style thing, which is not happened before with Mortal Kombat. It's always been on every platform. So that'd be a little bit weird to see that. We'll see. It's all conjecture at this point. So that's kind of the news, as it were, at least that I found. If you guys have anything else, or if chat has anything else, feel free to post it. But we could probably talk about some games we've been playing. I know you've been doing some Yakuza. We'll talk about that maybe.
Yakuza.
Yeah. Talk about that maybe in the second half. There was something that you played that was shorter, or only took like a day or two. What?
Green Hell?
Maybe. Let's talk about that. I'll pull up some VODs. I was gonna pull up your VODs, but I fucking forgot how to get to that on this new Twitch thing.
Gotta click the logo.
Yeah. No, I got it. I figured it
Mortal
out.
Shell.
Yeah.
The 2-hour
That's
Mortal
what.
Shell.
Yeah. Ghost Shell, or not Ghost Shell. Mortal Shell. How was Mortal Shell?
Mortal in the Shell.
Yes. Mortal in the Shell. Turtles and Lost in Time.
There we perfect. Done.
Yeah. How was
it? So start with Mortal Shell?
Yeah, let's do it. I'll pull up footage.
Okay. So Mortal Shell, I started it up. I didn't really know. Well, excuse me. I kind of knew exactly what to expect, because I knew it was going to be Dark Souls. You start it up, the menu feels like Dark Souls. You bring it in, it looks like Dark Souls. The movement feels like Dark Souls. So I was like, okay, cool. It's Dark Souls. So I was kind of going in expecting, like, the problem is when you're a game that's so similar to another game, then it all of a sudden becomes this direct measuring match where it's like which game does it better, right? And then it's constantly like comparing one to the other, and generally you have one that just isn't quite up to the other. So when I started playing this game, I was kind of like, okay, well, let's, I kind of went in saying, let's see how it is. TLDR, Mortal Shell is awesome.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the combat. It's super slick. I loved the worlds. The voice acting was top notch. The way that they do the combat system is really interesting, with the hardening ability and some of the ways that the combos and stuff work. It's really, like, I was thinking that it was going to be like a total Dark Souls ripoff, but it does a lot of things that I feel kind of set it apart in some ways, even though it is clearly super, super, super influenced by Dark Souls. It does absolutely do enough to feel like it's kind of in some ways kind of like a little bit of a step forward for the Souls-like genre, and I cannot wait to play more of it. I was super sad when I finished the demo, and yeah, it was really cool. It was really cool.
That's not the real title, right?
No, it's just Mortal
Okay.
No, it's Mortal Shell. It's the real, yeah.
No, I'm just watching the different gameplay.
But no, the you have 4 different shells, and they have different stats and have some different like little things to them. You have an Ankh, which allows there's like a parry system, but it requires charging up. You've got this really cool thing called Harden, and basically it makes it so whenever you hold down left trigger, then you can basically like take a hit, but you can thread that into main combos. So you can like attack once, start your second attack, you see the enemy attacking you, you then harden your character mid combo, get hit to break the harden, and then you can like keep going through your combo and stuff. So it adds like this kind of different dimension to the whole thing, which is really cool, and I really enjoy it. The parry system kind of feels Sekiro-y when it's up and active, which is kind of nice too.
Was that a parry?
There it is right there.
Okay,
that was it right there. You have to charge up that Ankh. It's on the back of your weight, your fanny pack. There you have like little Ankhs. So you have to get a bunch of and that's hardened that you just saw there. And yeah, it's cool, man. It's fun. A lot of mechanics are very similar to Dark Souls. Like there's a weapon upgrade system, and you kind of have your different mortal shells, and then you have weapons that can be upgraded with different things you find around the world. But yeah, it's cool, man. I had a really good time with it. Felt good. The combat was good. Each of the different shells has upgradable skill trees. So and they're not really skill trees, more like skill circles. So you can kind of you have to first of all get the name of the shell. You find out the identity of the shell that you found. And then once you've identified the name, then it kind of opens up in a circle of different abilities you can spend your souls, which they call tar, into. And that like even further differentiates how the different shells play and function.
Now, when you say shells, are we talking? Does that come with armor, or is armor and weapons its own separate thing?
So the shells are the body. So the way that it works is your character
like the
is
avatar
actually
itself.
Your character is this Geiger-esque white creature that looks kind of like some kind of soul, and that character actually goes into the bodies. So this is one of the shells right here, the armored shell, and the shell is kind of like a corpse that you reanimate by kind of crawling into it. So like the shells in the demo are this big guy here. There's also music. I'm actually playing like a shamisen type of thing there. But yeah, there's in the demo there was this guy, which is kind of like the balanced shell that has like decent health, decent endurance, and I think a maneuverability or something kind of last thing. And then the next shell you get has like a huge amount of endurance, but is also reduced in other things. So it's kind of a pick your play style kind of mechanic.
Huh.
And then weapons go on top of that.
So there are like, would you say they're like class styles then?
Sort of, yeah. Like the
quick, heavily armored style. Okay. So the reason why I ask is there a magic class?
Not in the demo.
Ah!
In fact, I don't think I saw any magic in the demo.
Is there any sort of projectile?
I think there was like a bow or something. I did get a piece of something that seemed like it was long range. I don't know if I actually got it. I can't remember now that I'm thinking about it. I mostly stuck. There was like a big sword. There's the soul thing.
Oh.
Yeah. So, by the way, one of the mechanics is when you get hit with the last hit of your mortal shell, you get knocked out of it, and then at that point you can keep fighting in that form, or you can get back in the shell, and you kind of like get a little health boost when that happens, and then you can only get knocked out once per life before then you kind of respawn back at the beginning. So there is this kind of like second chance mechanic thing going on too.
Interesting.
But yeah, I don't remember if there was a projectile weapon. If there was, I didn't really use it. There were enemies with projectiles. There were definitely like some bowmen and things like of that nature, but I don't know if there was a range thing. Chat would have to help me out there.
Does it have like the same like mechanic of you drop all your loot and you got to go back and you get one chance to go back and get it, or
yeah, you have to go back and get your tar, your souls essentially.
Okay, just making sure that was still a thing.
In a world where I've played all of the Dark Souls style games, Souls-likes, if you will, and not hated is a strong word, disliked almost all of them. Does this have that X factor that Dark Souls games have? Is that question conveyed properly?
In playing it 2 hours, I can definitely say that in the time that I played, this game had a soul similar to Dark Souls.
Okay.
Where I would say that Sekiro, Neo, and Surge 2 don't really. They do enough different things where they kind of have their own flavor. Mortal Shell feels very similar to Dark Souls in a lot of ways.
Okay.
So if Dark Souls is your far and away favorite of the Souls likes, then I think Mortal Shell would probably be the closest to Dark Souls in terms of what you're going to get from it. There is a lot of new stuff in it, and the hardened mechanic and the parry stuff does definitely make it feel different. But the world and the way you maneuver around it, and the way you acquire things and tar and stuff like that, there's a whole lot of souls in this Souls like.
Okay. Yeah. As people in chat are pointing out, the beta is free right now for all on Epic Game Store. So if you want to check it out, you can. Because there's about 2 hours of gameplay in it, right?
Yes, there was about 2 hours, but I did kind of go most everywhere and do everything.
Okay.
I did somehow one-shot the first kind of mini boss thing at the end of the demo, which I was expecting to spend a lot more time on. But he wasn't like mechanically complex or anything.
Okay.
I think probably most people will, but I do definitely recommend you check it out. Like especially as a Dark Souls fan, it's worth checking out. This is kind of cool too. I don't know if you just noticed that there's apparently a lot of secrets in the world. I just walked up and basically like slammed the bottom of that tree because those roots looked interesting, and all of a sudden like a lore thing opened up. So there were definitely more than a few little areas that you could just slam with your sword to get some loot or a little lore bit and things like that, which is pretty cool.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. When have they said release date, release window for this? Has that been talked about at all?
I don't know yet. Chat would have to help me out with that one. I don't know if we have a release date for this one yet. I hope it's soon because I'd love to play more of it.
Chat saying 2020 September Q3. So I think Q3 2020 is on the website.
Oh,
a couple people.
There was
September.
A cat at the first store, and you can walk up and pet it.
Okay. All right. So that Twitter account got its content. It's good.
Kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Pretty cute.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I have. It's one of those things where like it looks fine, but I feel like Dark Souls games, the more that I try so many games that are Souls-like, it is 100% down to how it feels to play. And it's so hard to grasp that from a video. So I'll probably just have to check it out myself. We
also know that the difficulty in the demo was reduced. So that's something to consider as well when you're playing through it.
Okay.
That's what we're hearing. The demo difficulty is not full to life. Yeah. Journalist level difficulty.
Jeez.
The thing one of the things that I've always liked about the Souls-like or Souls games in particular is like the way they handle lore and the mystery of everything. Do they have anything like that in the game? Like, because I love picking up a piece of armor or weapon and getting like a chunk of story that you have to kind of like puzzle together. Do they have anything like that?
Now, yes. First of all, there's lore. From what I've seen all over the world, there seems to be lots of little written things, letters to each other, things of that nature. But also the game introduces this kind of interesting thing called a familiarity system. So basically, when you use an item, when you get an item for the first time, you don't know what it does. You have to use it. And then each item generally gets 10 uses, and a bar actually goes up that tells you more and more about the item as it kind of, as you find more out about it. Weapons do have a little blurb, although they were pretty sparse in terms, and then they mostly just described like what you were looking at. But one thing that's really interesting that didn't happen to me is apparently, I don't know if this is how it works with every item, but like I picked up a mushroom and I took it, and it was a poison mushroom. And it's like, this mushroom deals 40% damage or 40 damage to you over X seconds. And I was like, oh, this is, kind of crappy. I'm never going to use that again. And then later I got a shell where it's like, while you're poisoned, if you buy this ability, your attacks have lifesteal. And it's like, oh, that's kind of cool. I guess that's what that mushroom was for. But then I later found out that somebody said that if you use that mushroom enough times, that mushroom makes you immune to poison.
That's how it is in the real
world. It's
like...
Play the thing,
hold
JP.
On. Yeah.
Play the thing. Play the thing.
Kids, don't listen to what JP just said.
By.
That was a joke.
Everyone's that. Okay, here I got it. Lawyers are here. Okay. This stream is not
Yeah.
accountable for any false beliefs put forth by person or persons on the channel. It is for entertainment purposes only. Yep. Thank you. Thank you, lawyers.
There we go.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, so I don't know how
no,
that
I was
works.
just gonna
I
say
don't
that.
know.
When you
ahead.
when you were talking about the mushroom poisoning you, I was like, the kind of person I am, I'd be like, I'm gonna keep taking this mushroom. I'm gonna keep taking it until it kills me or something else happens. Like I wasn't going to like being immune to poison. My idea was like, for some reason my head went to like, I become mushroom like. You know?
Now
I become
like
a Last of Us, like with a fungal head or something.
cordyceps infection. But what was kind of cool is in the very first area you get like a guitar kind of thing, and when you sit down and start playing it, you have no familiarity. You're terrible at it. You're just like plucking strings. Well, you can keep playing the guitar over and over, and every time you do, you get better at it, and it actually changes the song. And by the time you get to the very end, full familiarity, he's like playing a damn nice tune on this little guitar thing. And it turns out that then it starts like being able to pull enemies. So you can play the guitar, you can sit down and start playing this little guitar, and it'll agitate the enemies around you, and they will actually walk over and start attacking you. So you can use it like as a pull tool, a pull tool. So yeah, it's kind of interesting to see what the different familiarity stuff's going to do. Obviously, it unlocks different functionality from items. So it'll be kind of interesting to see like how far they go with that for sure.
Cool. I've never heard someone
Here
say
is
the
a
word.
new shell.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I've never heard the phrase pull tool before, but I'm 100% stealing that from now on. In any game that when you're given a bow, it is no longer a bow; it's a pull tool.
Pull tool.
Yeah. Raiders worldwide and World of Warcraft and can we go ahead and get our pull tools out and get ready for the boss, guys? Let's get it. It's gonna happen. Start here with Co. The two areas that we've seen, by the way, this area, is this like a hub area, or is this just somewhere in the world that you found?
Yes. Now, this was the first hub area that we came across. So the way that it worked is like you walk into this little like it's kind of like a safe house, and there's different like what is the word? Catacombs. There's like graves in the walls, and whenever you're in one of your mortal shells, the other one was in the other spot. So to switch mortal shells, you'd actually walk up and like possess that corpse. And then also in that room, you would hang the weapons that we've got. So there would be like, if you wanted to switch your weapons, you'd actually run back to the room. The other weapon would be on the wall. You'd walk over and hit A, and he would like switch the weapons out.
Now I gotta ask. Well, please finish your statement, and then I'll ask.
I was gonna say there's also a mechanic where there's little mushroom patches, and every time you kill an enemy, a little kind of thing goes around them, and whenever you've killed enough, then it respawns 2 health items. So it looks like they're doing that in lieu of like an Estus flask, where you get kills, and whenever you die, it refreshes 2. You pick up these mushrooms, and they're like your healing item.
Gotcha. Is there a central room that connects these corridors here in this area?
No, this area is pretty linear. So like you zone into it, and there's the catacombs, like where you can do the weapons and the people, and then that kind of linearly goes into the next kind of like pretty linear area to the boss. It does split. It has like different fingers. They all kind of come back together.
Okay. Because from the other area that you were in this area, I'm getting like straight up Dark Souls 3 vibes from the opening of that game. Like through and through. Like it looks identical to the type of areas that you're in at the beginning of Dark Souls 3.
A lot in this. There's a lot of souls in this Souls like even like fighting the first boss. There's like a lot of things in here that just feel like a new Dark Souls in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Now I know you only played, it's only a beta and there's, only so much content, but do you get the feeling that it's like linear, like you go from this place to this place to this place, or you can go like face a boss that maybe you're like is way over leveled for you?
Now, what's kind of fun is right at the beginning of the game, there's like a path to the right that you obviously don't have to take at all. And inside there is for first timers, relatively difficult, like you have its own health bar and everything boss that you have to work through. And then if you beat him, you get a lore thing and some items too. Huh. So the demo is relatively linear, but the world looks like it could be set up to be more kind of open in Souls-y. But the demo itself is relatively linear. Yeah. It's very much kind of like even though the areas you're in are definitely not just a straight path, like you can very much go in all directions. It's kind of like the cave that we're talking about in now. You kind of like go into an area and there's a bunch to explore, and then it funnels to the next area and a bunch to explore, and then a boss. So there's kind of like choke points that you move through rather linearly.
Okay.
I like the look of this NPC.
The reason I ask is because I love the Dark Souls where you could wander around and then you find yourself in a place that you're probably not supposed to be because you're well under leveled, and you don't have like the tools or levels to like beat the boss or beat the mobs and shit like that. But I also liked Souls speedruns are the ones I still like fall back on. Like I love watching Souls speedruns because of the routing, because you can go so many different ways and stuff. I was wondering if there was going to be routing in this, or is it just going to be a straight run?
Yeah.
I'd say with the demo, a little too early to tell. I also don't know if the demo is actually like the actual beginning of the game or if it's a demo.
Yeah.
So this may just be some area design to kind of like show off a bunch of different mechanics and enemy types and stuff like that. I don't know.
Really like the look of that guy shell thing, whatever that NPC looks dope as hell. So yeah,
you should definitely try it. They open the demo up to everyone, so
yeah.
everyone can check this game out now, and it's definitely worth the time to at least play it for free. There's your kind of thing there, which opens up and you start getting all sorts of different things.
Oh, cool.
And if you're a big dumb like me, and you open the Epic Game Store and you go to the Mortal Shell store page, and you're looking on the store page for the beta, go up to the very top, and you'll see Mortal Shell, and then a beta tab like right next to it. That's where you get it. Because I was looking all over for like 5 minutes, like, where the fuck is this free beta? What the hell's going on?
Yeah, they didn't. There's a bunch of people in chat saying the same thing, so I don't think that's just a you problem. Yeah. I think it's just an interface
little
problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a UI error for sure, or not error, but issue. So cool. That's Mortal Shell. Is that PC only? That's on consoles and stuff too, right?
Epic. It's Epic Store. Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know exactly what's Epic. Yeah.
Gotcha. What time is it? I could spend 5 minutes talking about Persona because I'm near the end. I've entered the Royale content, but I
want to hear.
I can't say anything about it. It is like so soul-shatteringly spoilery that I cannot tell you anything about the actual Persona thing or the Persona Royale thing. But I can talk to you about the rest of the game. But
hold on. So the royal section of the game actually has like weight and matters.
Yeah, in a big fucking way, like in a major fucking like.
I'm wondering if they probably had to change all, like the ending and stuff.
The ending's different.
Oh yeah.
Like I beat the base game of Persona 5, and then the Royale content starts, and it's like an entire semester.
It's after the base game.
Yep. There is stuff.
Oh shit! I didn't know that. I thought it was within. Okay.
No. It takes place after the end of the Persona 5 vanilla. So, but
there is some stuff though.
Oh yeah. You meet a lot of different characters. You meet a lot of different scenes, and they've changed a handful of things. They do a bunch of stuff where like the normal cutscenes play out, and if you're aware of what's happening and you look in the background of these scenes, you can see new stuff. And they actually reference that later, and they do like the fucking flashback stuff later in the game where it's like, remember when this happened? Well, I was doing this type deal.
Yeah,
they do that a lot, but yeah, like I can't. It is. It is more. I will say this. I can say this without spoiling anything. It is for me more interesting than the entirety of the base game from a story perspective, because of what happened.
Why would you say that? I hate
Damn, dude.
So much.
Okay.
It is a completely different deal. Completely different deal with the story.
Feel like Al Pacino. Just when I thought that was out, pull me back in.
I will say this. I'm 140 hours in. I've got about another 15 to 20-ish in the playthrough. So it is a very long game, which you already knew, but it is because I'm reading literally almost everything, like 99% of the stuff I've read out loud. That adds a shit ton of time to it. I also have stumbled into I'm completely broken territory. And earlier in the game, I would say that it was not that I was broken. It was just I understood the mechanics, so the fights were pretty easy. Now it's like walk in to the final boss fight and killed him in 3 rounds. So it's like I'm completely and utterly broken, and that's
content more balanced.
Is it more balanced? No, I'm still pretty much. I have a certain persona which has a certain skill, which has certain personas that work with that skill, so that when I enter into a party, my entire party is defense, agility, and whatever buffed. Like the 3 buffs.
Yep.
That's all automatically done.
The auto suck, auto terra, and auto blah blah blah. Yeah.
That's all done. And then I have another persona which the main character has where he charges and then he does 8 light attacks where each one does 800 damage to every enemy. So effectively I got into a boss fight in the new content yesterday and did 8,000 damage in 1 attack. So it's just like completely broken. And it's not even like the strongest persona, is what I've been told.
Have you tried to kill death?
No. No. I don't want to say anything else.
Okay.
I randomly did a meme toast run where I walked in there and he just was automatically spawned and he like straight up one shot me, but that was probably like 40 or 50 hours in. But yeah, I did not encounter after obtaining that persona, I did not encounter death in meme toast. He's pretty strong though.
There was a cheese strat. I don't know. Some people. Fixed. I'm getting I was gonna say I'm getting varying reports on that, but it got fixed. Okay.
They patched a lot of that stuff. They even nerfed the persona that I'm using that's outright broken, and they're still outright broken. Like,
is your persona a spoiler?
No, its name is Yoshitsune. It's like a level 90. Yeah, level 93 or 94 persona or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's a classic.
Yeah, and like you get so much money. I did one meme toast run to finish out all the requests towards the end of the game, the end of the base game, and I came out of there with like 3.4 million gold yen or whatever. And so you can just do whatever you want at that point in terms of, the different fusions and all that stuff. So you can make yourself very OP very easily because of how easy it is to get money in that game. And that was just literally doing the request. I didn't farm. I didn't do anything. I just went in, did that, left with 3.5 million yen. And so it's a little like easier in that sense than I think it was the first time through. There was some sort of like not money glitch, but the same method of farming money in the base game, but I think that got changed as well. So,
yeah. How many, if at all, relationships did you max out?
All of them before the final boss.
Oh, you did all of them?
Yeah, that's also easier in Royale, because you get after you hang out with someone from a social link, you get an extra scene before going back into LeBlanc or whatever that gives you like 1 or 2 social link points, and so it's much easier when also using the Chiaya affinity boost to make sure that whenever you're meeting with someone, it's for a rank up.
Right. Okay.
So they made that somewhat easier too. And there's also 2 new social links on top of the ones that already existed for New Arcana that you get throughout the main game, the base game, I should say.
Right. Sure. Yeah. I heard about that.
Yeah. So it's good.
Well, anybody who's asking me or thinking that I'm gonna jump into Royal, I'm not for a long time, because next on my list is P3 because it's coming out on PC.
Yeah, whenever it does. Yeah, I don't know if they've confirmed that, but yeah, it's fun.
Well, they didn't confirm it. I thought it was a confirmed thing.
I don't think it's been confirmed yet. P4 is out. P4 Golden is out, but P3 is not been 100%.
P4 is confirmed. P3 is rumored. Okay.
Yeah, P4 is out. You can buy and play P4 right now.
Yeah. Sorry, my bad, guys.
Yeah. I'm very much looking forward to ending it, not because I'm not enjoying it, but because I've played it for 33 days on stream. Like 33 days of my streaming for the past 2 months have been Persona 5, and I would like to play something
Long
else.
time, man.
So we'll be finishing it up like Saturday-ish, maybe Sunday, depending on how many hours we can put in.
But it's like, it's really, like it keeps you going. The carrot on the stick is great. We've discussed that. But also, like, I when I played it, I'm sure you're like steady viewership.
Yeah,
all the
it's
way
definitely
through.
been steady. It's not been up and down. It's been pretty steady. And it's also just, I think as variety streamers, one of the things that we're not able to do is to wake up every single day. For the most part, I guess every single week in some cases, because they take long. You don't have to sit there and be like, all right, what am I playing next? For me, it's been like, well, got a month of Persona, here we go. And then you just, wake up,
That
turn
is
on
nice.
your stream. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
nice to turn off that part of your brain where it's like struggling to think of what you want to play next. I started P4 and I was like, this next month's gonna be real easy for me,
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to
Yeah.
think about much.
It's a lot, but yeah, it's good. You guys need to play it either on stream or off stream so that we can talk about the story stuff, because it is a far departure from what you guys know Persona 5 to be. And I'm super thankful for over 140 hours. No one in chat said anything about it. Like, they just let me experience it, which is, in today's day and age with where we're at with video games and spoilers and all that stuff, that was very nice.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
The only thing that they like, chat was really good during my P5 playthrough as well. The only thing was that meme with Dan's Gaming's face, the Dan's Gaming emote.
yeah.
That happened every time. I was like, why the fuck? And then I finally I was like, I'm disappointed.
Yeah. So it was, it's good. I'm excited to finish it though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the reason why I didn't say the name is you guys are idiots. I hate you.
It's good. It's hard for me to comment on anything. I even asked chat yesterday and was like, wait, so what happened in the base game? And they were like, this happened. And I said, oh, so tomorrow when I talk about this game, I can't mention any of this. And they're like, yeah, you're going to be spoiling it big time. So I said, okay, thanks for the heads up, chat. Because I would have came in here and be like, man, I can't believe blah, 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 blah. And you guys would have been like, God damn it. What the fuck?
Pretty much.
Well-
Pretty much.
Yeah. So it's
The
good.
thing is, that is like, obviously, it's good and bad. The fact that the royal stuff is woven into the base game.
Yeah.
Part of me was hoping that I could just fire up my completed save and go to the DLC, but
Yeah.
I get it. Like,
Yeah.
they want you to play it again.
There is a lot that, like, the stuff that they add in through the main game, there is a decent amount that if you were to have missed all that, you would get to the like actual Royale content at the end of the game and just been like, what the fuck's going on? Like they put enough in there that's new, and change enough in there in the actual like gameplay loops that you're not just doing the same thing that you did in Persona 5. Like show times, all the stuff that I talked about in the past, like different show times, which is like the combo moves that you can do, the leveling up of baton passes, the technical rank level ups. Like they added in a lot of different things that you can do, that doesn't make it so you're just playing the exact identical game that you already did. So, but it is long. I'm probably going to clock in around 160 hours. And I don't necessarily play games slow. So it's just a lot. Just a big old game.
Wow.
But I'm very excited to be coming to the conclusion of it, so that I can jump on another really short game, Divinity Original Sin 2. I've been finishing up that one before we get into Ghost of Tsushima. So, which I've also, the previews of that are saying that it's a super long game as well. So, anyways, let's not get into the discussion of how games need to be shorter. That was a hot topic on Twitter, and let's stay away from. I don't want Troy Baker posting us Theodore.
I've got a quote for you, JP, that I'd like you to ponder and,
God damn it.
think about.
Did you see where he posted that to Greg Miller yesterday? I was losing my shit about it. I don't know if you saw that. It was funny as hell.
I didn't.
It was real funny. Zeke, we've all played Detroit Become Human, but you're doing a Steam run of it. How's the Twitch integration with this stuff? Is it a brand new game? Is it a brand new thing?
It was brand new to me.
Okay.
Because my first playthrough was perfect. It was super duper short. I missed probably 30% of the story because, okay. I cannot tell you how many times people came into my chat during this game or during this run and during the previous run going, I didn't know that character could die. And I went, yep, they certainly can.
Yeah.
And that was my first run. My first run was like half of the time that this one took. So I played it again. And it took a lot longer, as you could imagine.
Sure.
Because there was a whole storyline that we missed going playing the first one. The Twitch integration is probably among the best that I've ever, according to chat, among the best that has been in any game. It integrates seamlessly. It looks like it's a part of the game because it's an extension and an overlay. So when the polls pop up, all you have to do is tap the screen to vote on what you want to do or what you want to do or how you want to answer.
That's smart.
But also, not only do they handle choices, but in the meantime, they do cool little conversation starter polls. Like, if you were sick, would you let an android take care of you? Yes, no, maybe, kind of like that kind of stuff. And it brought up really cool like conversations during the longer like story parts and stuff like that, the wandering around and looking at stuff parts. It really was cool to have like conversations about stuff like that. You don't have to go with what the chat said or what they vote. Ultimately the choice is up to the player.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't auto choose. Exactly.
But it gives, I would say, like, if you're going to do this on your stream or whatever, you're going to play it with friends, play it on Twitch or whatever. I will say, keep your eye, because you have like I had like a dashboard of the questions when they come up and how the voting was going. I would say once you see like a new thing pop up, pause the game, because sometimes the time difference, you'll have to answer after the time is up for the question. Doesn't happen very often, but it happened a couple of times where I was like, okay, I'm just going to pause it every time there's a poll of a choice of what to do on the screen. So I paused it, waited for the chat to say, and then chose their answer. And let me tell you, chat was surprisingly compassionate and chose like the nice route most of the time. Unless it was an obvious like, oh, fuck that guy, to tell him to fuck off. Like, unless it was completely obvious to most everybody, chat like went for like the non-violent options and you know, spare life options and stuff like that. Which I was surprised. I was absolutely surprised. There are some ambiguous things in there. Like, how do you think Connor should handle this situation? Calmly, coldly, rationally, or blah, blah, blah. You kind of have to, like, I had some good conversations with chat as far as what would you think would be the calmest answer or the most aggressive answer, because it doesn't say like aggressive a lot of times. It'll just say like, tell him the truth. Sugarcoat it. A lot of like you have like things, and you have to go like, all right, what do you think is the most honest or the most cold, and that kind of stuff. And that was fun. It was a really fun. But as far as if you just want to know how the extension integration goes, it was awesome. It was phenomenal. I had a blast. Everybody had fun participating. Easy to participate as well. You don't have to type anything in chat. And it works on mobile too. You just poke the screen.
Yeah. I will say this game looks really good on PC. Like I remember it looking pretty good on the PS4, right? Is that when it came?
Yeah. It's 60 FPS. It jumped from 30. It doubled the FPS. Well, that is a huge difference.
The FPS, I just think like the models themselves have so much more to them than it did on like just a higher graphical fidelity on it than it did on the PS4. Or maybe I'm forgetful on how good it looked on the PS4 to begin with. But yeah, 60 FPS right off the bat. It just looks really good. Looks like a
gorgeous game.
Gorgeous looking game. Yeah.
Yeah. And among the like top voice acting of any game that I've played.
Yeah.
Like the story, I'm not talking about the story. I'm just talking about purely voice acting quality. It is top fucking notch.
Yeah. Cool.
And Mr. Krabs is in it, dude. What are you going to do? I mean, he's awesome.
Cool. What are they asking for this on PC? Is it like discounted from the normal price or is it $60?
Let me see here. Right now it is $35.99.
Okay.
It is on sale 10% off. So it's $40 normally.
$40. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's the thing with this. If you want to just like, if I were to justify the price point, it warrants a couple of playthroughs to really grasp all of what's going on, or like starting from chapters and watching different choices, because they have drastically different outcomes, as I was made aware after my second playthrough.
Yeah. I remember that. I think we discussed this game at length when the three of us played it. We all had kind of varying things because there's so many branches in it. So definitely worth picking up if you haven't played it, I would say. Probably will go on sale though if it's $40 or $35 right now on sale. I would think in the coming months this would be a big. Is this one of the like published by PlayStation, or is this put out by the devs themselves?
It says published by Quantic Dream.
Okay, so I guess from the devs themselves. Huh.
Yeah.
All right.
Also, fair to note, there's a downloadable demo. You can play a demo.
Oh, that's cool. That's always good. Demos are great. What time is it? About 10 minutes. I wanted to bring up, we don't often talk about people's playthroughs that they're doing when they're not here, but I'm going to do it in this case because I wanted to make you guys aware. Sean, Day 9, friend of the show, on his show, Mostly Walking, started to play through, I think it happens Mondays. He started to play through of Disco Elysium, where they're kind of reading everything out loud. I hadn't watched much of that game. That game looks really good. It looks like having Sean read all that stuff out. It was a really quick and enjoyable 2 hours. And I feel like they only scratched the surface of that game, but the dialogue in that is just like phenomenal. It like, I felt like it somehow they wrote lines in there, how I would play a D&D character. Like they're not just binary. It's not yes, no, and then like a funny joke. It's like 6 or 7 lines that are all just vastly different and take the conversation in obscure areas and obscure ways. That really makes me hope that gets like a Game of the Year edition or some shit, or someone voices it. I know
I would literally make a city of gold and diamonds and gift the entire city to the dev team for a fully voice acted Disco Elysium.
Yeah, man. I agree.
Oh my God, dude. Like to be able to just sit back and like enjoy all like I played it for a little bit, and by the time I was done with the hours that I played it, like my throat was gone. I instantly knew when I turned that stream off the first time, I would not be able to do a full run. And it pained me to this day.
How many hours did you put
because
into
it was so much fun, dude. It was so cool. it's the definition of the kind of game where you don't feel like you're progressing towards something. You feel like you are living a life. You feel like you are just like in this person's shoes, experiencing what he's experiencing. The immersiveness is completely next level.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite types of games. Oh my lord, man. Yeah.
It
Oh,
was
wow.
did your Sean's play, and I don't, if this is a spoiler, I'm sorry, I don't know enough about the game if it is or not. Sean's playthrough started out where he was talking to his reptilian brain and then his limbic system. Okay, that's okay, that happens for okay. Yeah. And like they had almost every skill like gives you dialogue in the game that I could tell, and like
it's a dialogue game.
Yeah.
Everything
Crazy.
is dialogue centric. Everything.
It was just crazy to like just to have super interesting dialogue from like a random like, hey, you have empathy for this. Here's what that means. Do you have a question about it? Oh yeah. Fuck empathy. Oh, okay. All right. Great.
I think there's like, I want to say like 30 different things
28,
that affect dialogue.
28 or 24, something like that. There's a lot.
Okay.
There's a lot for sure. And they're all just so ridiculous. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Ko. I would love to have that game be fully voice acted. Because man, it was super fun to watch.
Just out of curiosity.
The person playing it is Day 9. Day 9.
Twitch.tv/Day9TV is his Twitch. I think his VODs might be behind a sub wall, but I think he puts them out on YouTube. So I would look for that. The YouTube VOD. I don't know if it's out there yet. If you aren't a sub.
And the game is Disco Elysium we're talking about.
Yeah. What were we going to say, Zeke?
Sorry. Belch right in there. What I was going to say is, or going to ask, for someone who wants to see without a walkthrough, someone who is an exploratory person like myself who wants to like get all the flavor dialogue that you can get, how long is a playthrough?
How long to beat? Because I looked that up as well. How long to beat says that game on average is a 24-hour playthrough.
Okay.
But
Not that bad.
I feel like from what I've heard is that part of the fun of the game is that it is such like you are given so many crazy options that are so impactful to the story that like multiple playthroughs is kind of a must. At least from the things that I read about it. I haven't played it, might be completely off base in saying that.
Also, there's so many different ways you can spec a character in that game. I mean,
Right.
you can literally like think in your mind, like what kind of detective do I want to play? And there's like so many different options you can piece together. And even taking the same option and another, like overlapping stuff, can still lead to completely different playthroughs, from what I understand. So
Yeah.
it's wild, man. It's wild.
Sean started out his playthrough as you do, as you start in that game in a room, laying on the floor, walked over to a fan and essentially almost killed himself. Like, that's a playthrough.
Dude, my first playthrough, I ended up dying of a heart attack like after 15 minutes.
That's what happened to him almost. Yeah, him and his crew for sure. It's wild. It's a fucking crazy game. The writing.
Well, when I knew it was a different game, when I knew like the point that I knew that this game was going to be not revolutionary, but definitely like a mark for storytelling, signpost. Like this is how we can do this. This is what we can do with storytelling in video games.
Yeah.
Was when you meet one of the characters and he's a bad person, but the eloquence in which he is bad is astounding.
Yeah.
And that I was just like, this bad guy is so smart, and I want, like, I know his ideas are terrible, but god damn, I want to follow him.
Yeah, it was great writing. From the 2 hours that I saw, just phenomenal for sure. What else? I guess right before we take a break, we were kind of talking about how and if we wanted to discuss the tragic news that was that Thursday. I think it was Thursday. With Reckful, aka Byron, aka Reckful. I think most people know him by Reckful. With his untimely death, just a completely tragic story by all accounts. I know you guys weren't necessarily friendly with him, but I think it kind of shook the entire streamer world when that news broke last week. So can definitely talk about it.
It's like someone you go to work with every day, man.
Yeah,
You may not run in the same
yeah.
social circles, but it's like their presence is felt, no question.
For sure.
Yeah, he was big enough that I knew of him. He's one of those names that you just know of,
For
even
sure.
if you don't like watch or whatever.
Yeah. And I think he was so influential in so many different ways on the streaming platform, like the whole IRL directory. I think he was someone that spearheaded the boom of that with his trip to Japan with Soda Poppin'. I know I watched those streams. They were fucking fantastic. I don't know, Zeke, if that influenced kind of you and Adam's trip at all. But it was a huge deal to see that stuff. And then even after that, more recently, he started doing the pseudo therapy, I should say, sessions on Twitch, and those blew up. And that's been a great thing that has happened these past couple of months, with so many different streamers kind of appearing on that and being super open to talk about kind of the mental health of everything here and all the different issues that are so common but so not talked about, kind of on this platform and social media in general. So it was just a really sad thing, I think, when that news broke last Thursday, and I think everyone in one way or the other was affected by it, whether you're a streamer or a viewer, or it made a lot of different news outlets and affected a lot of people in a lot of different ways. So super tragic for sure. I don't know if you guys have anything to add, but yeah, just sad.
Well, and then we also lost Alana today, actually.
Right.
Another streamer named Alana committed suicide as well. And I mean, and then we also have a huge member of the RP community who his name was Blue. He actually like inspired much of the RP on Twitch right now by bringing in Summit and other big names.
Right.
Where it has not yet been public what the exact reason is. All I'm going to say is it was an untimely death. He was obviously a young dude that left way too early. There hasn't been any public stuff about that yet.
Yeah.
But Blue has passed as well. And I mean, I think the biggest thing that we just need to stress from these times is that just do your best if you are somebody or know somebody that's going through this stuff, to just make sure how important it is not to stay quiet. Every country has people that would love nothing more than to talk to you. And I think I speak for most people in this planet when I say, and almost every single other person on this planet, when I say, I think we'd all prefer that you and they stay here with us. It's just the way how it goes. So the best we can do is, of course, important to note that we are not professionals. We are not the people to come to with this. There are people with a lot more training that really do want to help you. Some of them make it their lives to help people that are in positions like some people are in these communities. And the best thing you can do is just talk about it. Even if you don't feel comfortable talking about your close friends or family, call a stranger. A lot of countries have those. And again, you just don't bottle it up. Don't make it your own. And please don't try to fight that battle yourself.
Yep.
And I think it's important to mention that, and I don't like, if someone wants to help me out with a link or whatever, there are resources out there where you don't actually have to talk. You can text. And that, like, for this day and age, that's important to know, I think. Because I know that I don't talk on the phone almost ever anymore. It's always through text. So there's resources out there for that.
Yeah.
But also, like,
Great point.
In my life, I've dealt with a lot of, whether it be myself, more so like growing up with a parent, my mother, who has severe depression, and learning about that and how candid she talks about it, and how much more it feels like when you talk about it, it's something that you can be proactive about. The fact that she was so open about it with me helped me when I was in like developing signs of moderate depression and that kind of thing. It helped me not to think I was just sad or something that I could, like, snap out of or that kind of shit. It helped me be able to talk to her about it. And she said, well, this is what happened to me. This is what I do. So I went to a professional, and the professional prescribed me medication. And there's no, like, I want to stress, there's no shame in that. My mom put it really well. She said, if you have a broken wrist, no one's going to tell you to get over it, like to snap out of it. It's fine. You go to the doctor and you get, like, you know, treated for that. Same thing if you have a broken brain. If your brain doesn't work properly, you go to a doctor and get help, get treated for that. There's no shame in it at all.
100%. I've been very vocal on Twitter, at least. I see a therapist every week. I hope most streamers do. I hope everyone does outside of even streaming. Obviously, you know, money comes into play, but there are ways to seek out that type of counseling and that type of therapy that hopefully are not going to break the bank. I know when I first started getting therapy, I reached out to a psychology school for people that were getting their education there. They have to take on patients as kind of a pro bono situation, at least the school that I was working with, and they would do it completely free. So there's definitely ways, for sure. Obviously therapy is expensive and not everyone can do it, but as Ko said, simply just talking to anyone about that type of stuff is worth it. So yeah, I think anything else you guys want to add? I don't want to cut off the subject too quick, but we are due for a break. Cool. All right.
Good.
Let's take a break. We'll come back and talk about some other games that we've been playing and wrap up this week's episode. Be right back with more Draft Frames right after this. We'll see you guys then.